Things are lining up perfectly for the San Diego Padres. Let's talk about what's going to happen post-All-Star break and how it could shape the San Diego Padres, making a deep playoff run and getting them in positions to even win the NL West. What's going on, everybody? Christian Pedersen back with another episode of Padres Digest. Thank you very much to the show that many of you in the comment section call a delusional Padre fan. But hey, I'm here to talk some baseball. If you want to follow along all season long, you can hit the subscribe button. If not, no worries. I'm going to be here talking no matter what. I say things are lining up perfectly. What does that mean? It means that we've got a lot of different little pieces to talk about, but I think it's going to cumulatively equate to the next month for the San Diego Padres is absolutely what the doctor ordered. Let's sort of set the table of what we're talking about here by reminding everybody that this is where the NL West stands right now. We are the one more day as of us recording this, less than a day probably as of you watching this until games get back underway post-All-Star break. Padres are 5.5 back of the Los Angeles Dodgers for the NL West. And I think maybe you can disagree with me on this, but post-All-Star break, you can start peeking every day at where the wild card standings are. We still have 70-ish games to go this season, so there's a minute left, but we're in that point now where we can, I think you can say, hey, this series win or these couple of games or anything like that propelled us to being solidly in second or in first or 2 games up. Or like you can start paying attention to the margins on the NL West, especially since the Gigantes are going to be close behind us, it would appear. That being said, Padres pre-All-Star break, I think, can be summed up by saying that we were hanging on by our chinny chin chin. The Padres had injuries, superstar pitchers turn into average regular Joes, a historic bullpen that had a really bad spat where Robert Suarez could not save a game, Jackson Merrill in a massive slump, Xander Bogaerts in a massive slump, Fernando Tatis in a massive slump, the list goes on and on and on, that we had a couple of bad skids and we still survived. Not even survived, I would say thrived, because we are like this. If we were 9.5 or 11.5 back with the numbers that we can talk about, I would have said, well, okay, cool. Here is the offensive output right now. I like measuring it at, for this graphics and discussion sake, my arbitrary cutoff is here are the Padres who are hitting above 250. Bryce Johnson, a statistical anomaly in there, given that he does not get a ton of at-bats. So you can say that there are 7 Padres hitting above 250. I like to view this as there are 6 of our 9 regular reoccurring batters are now hitting above 250. At one point this season, that was 3, maybe even 4, because there was Cronenworth was at 250. Cronenworth obviously not even on this list. Merrill is still on this list despite a massive fall off. Xander, though, like you see, climbing up. Nando climbing up. Shildt, I think that Shildt is no longer an anomaly at 260, 270. He's going to cruise somewhere between 260 and 280 potentially for the rest of the season. Love that. So 6 Padres are now, 6 of the 9, like I said, are now hitting above the 250 mark. The rest of this video, I will discuss it in the vacuum of just like who we have right now on the roster. There are plenty of trade speculations and circulations, and that's why I say hit the subscribe button, because we've got all the videos predicting and reacting and discussing these rumors. One of the the 3 other positions that are hitting below 250. Jake Cronenworth, we're not trading for a second baseman. We're not moving him. We're not sending him back down. Croney's just got to fight through it. He's at 242 right now, so he's close. If he can get back up a little bit and not even oh my God, he hits 380 the second half of the season. If he can just tweak up a little bit, let's really address that. We are down to what we've been down to the whole season is we need a catching bat to appear. Something needs to be better than what we have there in order to not have that spot just be an out. And then if you're putting Shildt in left field, we need a DH. If we trade for a DH, great. Or if we trade for a left fielder, Shildt goes to DH. So call the other one either left field or D, like a slash position there. So those 2 bats, okay. We don't have them figured out right now, but let's just discuss with the bats that we have. coming out of the break, the Padres are going to be heading into what I believe, like I said, is lining up perfectly, is a very winnable schedule. We open up with Nationals and Marlins, and the Padres just recently played the Nationals, and we dropped a stinker or two, but it's a very winnable game. And, okay, we have to be reminded constantly with the graphics that we probably lost the Soto trade and James Wood and C.J. Abrams and Mackenzie. I get it. Don't let that little burn distract you from the fact that those are winnable games. Marlins, winnable games. I hope we roll in there, steamroll the Marlins so badly that they trade us Kyle Stowers, or they just give us Kyle Stowers. After that, the Cardinals. Now the Cardinals are they're better. And this is not entirely like the easiest of the schedules. And I don't even want to go into like series previews and breakdowns, because when we've already seen that the Padres rotation has been somewhat reshuffled and realigned to get Darvish back on the top of that. And eventually we're going to get into a hypothetically August and Michael King returning. And so just more looking 30,000 foot view. Cardinals are a little bit tougher. After the Cardinals, it's the Mets. So, okay, Cardinals, Mets, like, that's a little bit of a stretch right there. It's going to be a little bit tougher games, but we just saw the Padres rise to the occasion with the Phillies, and we don't need them to rip off. Like, they don't need 15 straight wins, just series wins. Just give me two out of threes kind of things. After that, we've got Diamondbacks and Red Sox. You might be saying, oh, Christian, whoa, that's all the way into August. What are you even talking about? Like, you're too many numbers, too many names, too many games thrown at me right now. Okay, fine. Looking at all of this that I'm trying to cumulatively say is that the Padres, between coming out of the All-Star break and August 17th, that's when we play the Dodgers next. And then it's Dodgers and Giants, and it's the tail end of the schedule gets hard. But between now and then, Padres have what I believe are nothing but winnable series. Nothing also but series that are largely like the winner, like the Nationals and the Marlins and the D-backs are all series that shouldn't just be winnable, but should be those kind of like, I don't want to disrespect a pro team, but sometimes you look at it on your schedule and you be like, dog, that's exactly what the doctor ordered right now, is 6 games against beatable teams right in a row after a break. Pick up the momentum. We've got Darvish back. We got some guys in the All-Star game. We got like, it just feels like the stars are aligning. That at least for the next month, the Padres have a chance to turn that 5.5 games back. You're saying that, okay, Dodgers might still win a lot, whatever, but I bet we can turn that 5.5 into 3.5 by the next time we see the Dodgers. I don't see, like, 1 month of us playing good baseball to cut down 2 games. You might be like, Christian, that doesn't mean anything. But if we get to 3.5 back, going into a series with the Dodgers in mid-August, we end that 2.5 back, we end that 1.5 back, we end that a half game back. Again, hypothetical numbers, but like, maybe you get what I'm saying there. We get a chance to play some easier teams out of a break, get guys' heads right, bats going, pitching's getting a little bit better on the starting end. There is always room now for a trade to happen, but I'm saying that with the team that we got, this is still a really favorable part of the schedule for us to pick up a lot of momentum going into that, like, last half of August into September, where I think then if we're playing our best baseball and we're facing the Dodgers and Giants in a second round of things, we can really shake things up in the conversation for who's in control of the National League. So a lot of baseball still to be played. Drop a comment with what you think in terms of like, do you like this schedule to be favorable for us? Do you maybe you just want to talk about trades, and maybe you're like, Christian, doesn't matter what we have right now. This team just is not built for a playoff run. So stop the hype. Stop the hyperbole. Maybe you think that a combo of all of it happens. Drop that in the comments section. Like I said, if you could hit the subscribe button, it would be much appreciated. If not, no worries. Till next time, folks, keep the faith. 2025, it's going to keep getting better and better for the Padres.